Hello! Today, I'm gonna continue reading the book, and in today's reading section, I'm gonna, finish part 1. It has been like 7 or 8 days of the first part reading, That's quite a long section, but I kinda probably improved something. And the part 1 is the Hearth and the Salamander, and after that, the part 2 is gonna be the sieve and the sand. Very symbolic names, huh? All right. Okay. Now we're gonna continue reading from yesterday, where we left. Montag turned and looked at his wife, who sat in the middle of the parlor talking to an announcer, who in turn was talking to her. Miss Montag, he was saying, this, that the other. Mrs. Montag, something else, and still another. The converter attachment, which had cost them $100, automatically supplied her name whenever the announcer addressed his anonymous audience, leaving a blank where proper syllables could be filled in. A special spot Wavevix scrambler also caused to his televised image in the area immediately about his lips to mouth the vowels and consonant beautifully. He was a friend, no doubt of it, a good friend. Mrs. Montag, now look right here. Her head turned, though she quite obviously was not listening. Montag said, it's only a step from not going to work today to not working tomorrow, to not working at the firehouse ever again. You're going to work tonight though, aren't you? Said Mildred. I haven't decided. Right now I've got an awful feeling I want to smash things and kill things. Go take a beetle. No thanks. The keys to the beetle are on the night table. I always like to drive fast when I feel that way. You get it up around 95 and you feel wonderful. Sometimes I drive all night and come back and you don't know it. It's fun out in the country. You hit rabbits. Sometimes you hit dogs. Go take beetle. No, I don't want to this time. I don't want to hold on to this funny thing. God, it's gotten big on me. I don't know what it is. I'm so damn unhappy. I'm so mad, and I don't know why I feel like I'm putting on weight. I feel fat. I feel like I've been saving up a lot of things and don't know what. I might even start reading books. They'd put you in jail, wouldn't they? She looks at him as if he were behind the glass wall. He began to put on his clothes, moving restlessly about the bedroom. Yes, and it might be a good idea. Before I heard someone. Did you hear Petey? Did you listen to him? He knows all the answers. He's right. Happiness is important. Fun is everything. And yet I kept sitting in there, saying to myself, I'm not happy. I am, Mildred's mouth beamed. I'm proud of it. I'm going to do something, said Montag. I don't even know what yet, but I'm going to do something big. I'm tired of listening to this junk, said Mildred, turning from him to the announcer again. Montag touched the volume control in the wall, and the announcer was speechless. Millie, he paused. This is your house as well as mine. I feel it's only fair that I tell you something now. I should have told you before, but I wasn't even admitting it to myself. I have something I want you to say. I want you to see. something I've put away and hid during the past year, now and again. Once in a while, I didn't know why, but I didn't, and I never told you. He took hold of a straight-backed chair and moved it slowly and steadily into the hall near the front door and climbed up on it and stood for a moment like a statue on a pedestal, his wife standing under him, waiting. Then he reached up and pulled back the grill of the air conditioning system and reached far back inside to the right and moved still another sliding sheet of metal and took out a book. Without looking at it, he dropped it to the floor. He put his hand back up and took out 2 books and moved his hand down and dropped the 2 books to the floor. He kept moving his hand and dropping books, small ones, fairly large ones, yellow, red, green ones. When he was done, he looked down upon 20 books lying at his wife's feet. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't really think. But now it looks as if we're in this together. Mildred backed away, as if she were suddenly confronted by a pack of mice that had come up out of the floor. He could hear her breathing rapidly, and her face was paled out, and her eyes were fastened wide. She said his name over, twice, 3 times. The moaning, she ran forward, seized the book, and ran toward the kitchen incinerator. He caught her, shrieking. He held her, and she tried to fight away from him, scratching. No, Millie, no, wait, stop it, Willie. You don't know, stop it. He slapped her face. He grabbed her again and shook her. She said his name and began to cry. Millie, he said, listen, give me a second, will you? We can't do anything. We can't burn these. I want to look at them. At least look at them once. Then if what the captain says is true, well, we will burn them together. Believe me, we'll burn them together. You must help me. He looked down into her face and took hold of her chin and held her firmly. He was looking not only at her, but for himself. And he must do in her face, whether we like this or not. We're in it. I've never asked for much from you in all these years, but I ask now. I plead for it. We've got to start somewhere. Here, I'm figuring out why we're in such a mess. You and the medicine at night, the car, and me and my work. We're heading right for the cliff, Millie. God, I don't want to go over. This isn't going to be easy. We haven't anything to go on, but maybe we can piece it out and figure it and help each other. I need you so much right now. I can't tell you. If you love me at all, you'll put up with this. 24, 48 hours. That's all I ask. Then it will be over, I promise, I swear. And if there's something here, just one little thing out of a whole mass of things, maybe you can pass it on to someone else. She wasn't fighting anymore, so he let her go. She sagged away from him and slid down the wall and sat on her floor looking at the books. Her foot touched one, and she saw this and pulled her foot away. That woman, the other night, Millie, you weren't there. You didn't see her face. And Clarice, you never talked to her. I talked to her. And man, like Beatty are afraid of her. I can't understand it. Why should they be so afraid of someone like her? But I kept putting her alongside the firemen in the house last night, and I suddenly realized I didn't like them at all, and I didn't like myself at all anymore. And I thought maybe it would be best if the firemen themselves were burned. Guy! The front door voice called softly. Mrs. Montag, someone here, Mrs. Montag, someone here, softly. Then they turned to stare at the door, and the books stubbled everywhere in heaps. Beatty, said Mildred. It can't be him. He's come back, she whispered. The front door voice called again softly. Someone here. We won't answer. Montag lay back against the wall and then softly sank to a crouching position and began to nudge the books bewilderedly with his thumb, his forefinger. He was shivering, and he wanted above all to shove the books up through the ventilator again, but he knew he could not face Beatty again. He crouched, and then he said, and the voice of the front door spoke again, more insistently. Montag picked a single small volume from the floor. Where do we begin? She opened the book halfway and peered at it. We begin by beginning, I guess. He'll come in, said Mildred, and burn us and the books. The front door voice faded at last. There was a silence. Montag felt the presence of someone beyond the door, waiting, listening. Then the footsteps going away down the walk and over the lawn. Let's see what this is, said Montag. He spoke the words haltingly with a terrible self-conscientiousness. He read a dozen pages here and there and came at last to this. It is computed that 11,000 persons have several times suffered death rather than submit to break eggs at a smaller end. Mildred sat across the hall from him. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. The captain was right. Here now. We'll start over again at the beginning. Alright, I guess this is the end of the first chapter and first part. The Hearth and the Salamander, which basically talked about like Montag, like he was a fireman and he burned books instead of saving people, you know, and the reason they burn books is because books have a lot of ideas, and Captain Beatty thinks that if people read books, they will like get boring and like unfun. So Captain Beatty thinks that do not read books, and he thinks that if people read books, they'll like feel like unhappy about life, because he wants people to get happier. But Clarice said that like people have they have to like try to read more books. They could find more ideas from the books. I guess that's the first chapter, first part talked about. And I suppose that the whole book has 3 parts, only 3 parts. The first part is the Hearth and the Salamander, and the second part is the sieve and the sand. And I will start tomorrow. And yeah, this is for today. And I will see you in the next video. And if you like this video, if you like the reading, subscribe and comment in the video. Alright, bye. Peace.